Black, Poetic G. Beautiful love.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm King George. I'm the owner of T.Y.I Productions. I am the curator of Black 31 magazine. Today we are here with another special guest. When you dive into the field of mental health, this special guest, she is a mental health therapist, and you know how important mental health is for the community. So, can we give it up for Miss Tara Patrick Teller? Let's go. Let's go. It's Tara Patrick Teller. Let us know first, before we even dive into what you do specifically in mental health, let us know, what does mental health mean to you?
Mental health means to me taking care of your mental health just as well as you take care of your physical health, your dental health, and your vision. Mental health is very, very important, because if your mental health isn't intact, then no other aspect of your human body will be intact. Mental health is extremely important to take care of.
Okay.
Just as well as you go to the doctor for your physical being, you go to the dentist for your teeth, you would go to other physicians for other means. So mental health drives everything else. So because if your mental health isn't intact, you wouldn't be able to take care of anything else. Yes. And
how did you get into the field of mental health?
I began working with juvenile correctional facilities, and I was introduced to working in the mental health capacity from the security portion way back in 2004, but I was also training at the age of 3 or 4 from different individuals in the communities that I lived in and I grew up in. So mental health has been a huge aspect of my life.
Okay. So people in the community drove you to jumping into the mental health field? Yes,
and then when I worked for the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Okay. And now, where did you grow up? How did you grow up? And what were some of the things that you seen just that, growing up that made you want to just dive into that?
I became interested in the human mind a little bit more than I was as a kid. I became interested in the human mind while working for the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice, as well as when I began my undergraduate degree at the University of Phoenix.
Okay.
I took a class called Human Motivation, and it drove me to become more inquisitive in regards to mental health.
Wow. And what was that class all about? You said human motivation?
Yes.
Okay.
What motivates an individual to do some things that they do. So just basically human motivation, trying to understand the reasoning behind certain individuals' behaviors.
Okay.
And why they do what they do.
Yes. And now, honestly, what have you noticed most about, people of color that come from our community? What have you noticed that been a sickness within our communities mentally?
In the African American community, you mean?
Yes.
In the African American community, we have a lot of undiagnosed mental illnesses. A lot of individuals, it's a lot of stigma around mental illnesses, which mental illness will always have a stigma because the way the individuals view it. But a lot of African American people won't take care of their mental health. They won't go to the doctor. They view attending to their mental health as a weakness when actually it's a strength. Because if you take care of your mental health, everything else in your life will fall in line.
Yes. As we dive more into mental health, right? Are there certain components to mental health that you actually look for when you sit down with a person?
I pay attention to their hygiene.
Okay.
I pay attention to the way they communicate with me.
Okay.
Nonverbal cues. I check to see if they have any previous mental health treatment, to see if they have an assessment and some things in that assessment that I need to pay attention to. So I pay attention to a lot during my first encounter.
Okay. And what's the greatest thing about being a mental health therapist that you believe?
The greatest thing about being a mental health clinician is watching a client transition from their lowest point to their greatest point and being able to provide that support that they're needing in order for them to remain successful.
Yes, absolutely. Now, what's the have you worked with like what was your most toughest individual that you had to deal with? You don't necessarily have to say the person's name or something, but just, you know, some of the most toughest challenges that you believe that you had to tackle.
The toughest challenges I've had to deal with in this profession was individuals that don't want to receive treatment, and I know that they need the treatment, but you can't force them to receive the treatment that they're needing for mental health. So those were the most difficult types that I deal with quite frequently.
Okay.
And it's not anything you can do, but except the fact that they don't want to receive the treatment that they're needing. So you have to leave it alone.
Yes.
Because it's only so much as a clinician you can do, regardless of what you think or how you feel. They can go get a second opinion, and another clinician may say something different. But we all can agree that this person needs help.
Yes. Why do people run away from mental health?
It could possibly be because of the stigma that's around mental health treatment. They can possibly have the wrong clinician for a variety of different reasons, and they may feel as though they don't need the mental health treatment.
As a clinician, right? Because I also heard things just from the outside, on the outside of being a clinician, right? How can you make a person feel safe, you know, like coming to you and speaking to you about their mental health issues without them feeling, you know how, because sometimes, you know, everybody don't want to discuss their problems, and it may be, how do you make the person feel safe enough?
When I first encounter a client or someone that wants to receive treatment from me, I pretty much do all I can to make them comfortable in the first session, and I pretty much like to break the ice to let them know that they can come communicate with me about anything in regards to anyone that's working in any office setting that I'm working in, and they feel as though what we're speaking in regards to is not confidential, to let me know so I can kind of like figure out where the breach is coming from. And I do keep my word. As long as they're not threatening to harm themselves or anyone else, then it does remain confidential. So, and I do everything in my power to make my clients very, very comfortable, even down to my kids as well as the parents and the school system and whatever other agency I have to collaborate with.
Yes.
Because it is a lot of stigma around mental health, and you don't want people feeling as though they can't trust you. Because when someone is going through some things, you just don't want them feeling as though they can't trust anyone.
Yes. And
trust is hard to earn, and when you betray someone that's like, I trusted this person with everything, this is my safe place, and she or he went back and repeated some things they should not have repeated. I'm in therapy, I'm paying for this, so my insurance paying for it. It should be confidential. I didn't threaten to harm anybody or anyone else, so I'm speaking to my therapist, and it should have remained confidential, which is true. And we do have to abide by the HIPAA law.
Yes.
And so you have to keep this in mind. When people are paying for a service, just like if they come here and pay for a magazine or a interview or whatever you're selling, that's your product.
Yes.
So when they lose faith in your product, they're going to go somewhere else.
Yes.
And go where the satisfaction is. And they're going to go where they're going to feel like they're appreciated. They're going to go where they feel like their information is going to be confidential. You just don't want to be in a situation where a person, just like if you go to the doctor, the physician, for whatever reason, the dentist,
yes,
and you may have an abscess on your tooth, or you may have a physical ailment such as cancer, and you have the proper coverages, the proper health insurance, the proper life insurance, the proper disability insurance, but you have someone in that office that decide they want to go repeating things to families or your family members that you're not ready to tell yet, or people in the community that you're not ready to tell yet.
Yes.
that's gonna make you feel very, very uncomfortable. Plus, they broke the HIPAA law. So that being said, that's some things you just don't do. You may be close to this person. You may go to church with them. You may have went to college with them. You may know her husband or know his wife. They didn't want them to know yet.
Yes.
And so they paid for those services. And then too, most importantly, it's a trust thing. That's your customer. Your loyalty should be with your customer.
Yes. Yes.
So you do have to abide by the HIPAA law as well. So that's it bothers me when I see people have to go through that.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as a mental health clinician, right?
Mm-hmm.
What don't the people know that mental health clinician you deal with on a daily basis? What don't we know that you deal with?
We have to deal with our own lives as well.
Yes.
Some of us that have husbands, we have kids. I have kids. I have to pay my bills.
Yes.
I have to deal with the world, negotiating contracts. Sometimes in corporate America, it's not easy negotiating contracts. And so we have to deal with life just like the clients have to deal with life. So those are some difficulties that we all struggle with.
Okay. Absolutely. What does it take to be successful in that field, specifically in the mental health field?
You have to constantly update your trainings because the profession is constantly changing. You have to build positive relationships and a positive rapport with your clients.
Yes.
As well as the referral databases that refer you over to clients.
Yes.
So that they would want to attend the sessions, and so that people can feel like they can trust you and they feel like you're a person of your word, because people don't want to deal with people with wishy-washy, and they don't want to deal with people that's not a person of their word.
Yes.
So, and I'm gonna give you a prime example. I had someone to tell me, say, well, hey Tara, I know you're a person of your word. I turned down several millions of dollars in contracts to work with you instead of this particular person. This person is a higher level client than you. Their finances is a whole lot better than yours, but I chose you over them because you're coachable, and the areas that you're weak in, I can strengthen those areas.
Yes.
But you're a woman of your word.
Yes.
And I can trust you, and I know you're not going to go back. I can do this deal for you, but it's going to cost you this right here.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel like it's a quid pro quo type situation. It's just that where I'm trying to take my business and you as my client, this person isn't going to be the right fit for you for a lot of reasons, and your loyalty means a lot. So in this profession, it's going to be loyalty. It's going to get you a lot of places. It's going to secure a lot of contracts, and it's going to secure a lot of clients, because people don't want to deal with people that's not truthful to their word.
Yes.
They don't want to deal with these lawyer doctors.
Yes.
Because you're telling me, say for instance, if I have a teenage girl that has some things going on in her life, and her mom is entrusting her to come to me for therapy, but I don't have to tell her mom anything because it's not a family session.
Yes.
So it's like, well, I told you that I had an abortion when I was 14. My mom did not know, and you went back and told my mom. Little things like that.
Yes.
And so that's why I have to be very, very careful with who I hire around me, because people don't want their business out.
Yes. Absolutely.
Not just because of the HIPAA law, it's a trust type situation.
Yes. 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 Trust. What do you do to treat your own mental health?
Actually, I do have a therapist myself, believe it or not, because I take care of my mental health. Just like I go to the doctor, just like I go to the dentist, I go take care of my mental health as well.
Okay.
I practice self-care. When I realize the position of a person does not serve me and they don't mean me well, I distance myself from it.
Yes.
I take care of myself because I do love me very, very much, and I'm not going to allow anyone to mistreat me. So that's my form of self-care, and I take care of my mental health that way.
Yes. And most importantly, for the people, what does it mean to have that self-care and that self-love?
It means a lot, because at one point in life I did not have self-care and self-love. I would hold on to toxic relationships and toxic people, whether it's family or none, knowing that I need to let it go. And the sooner I realized that, the better off I became as a person. I was better. It made me be able to care for myself a whole lot better, to turn and lose toxic relationships and people that did not serve me.
Yes. And honestly, I don't know if you want to answer this or not, but I want to ask this question because we the platform of truth. So, what was the toughest thing that you had to let go in your life?
The toughest thing that I had to let go was, believe it or not, when I got my divorce. The first time I ended up with custody of my kids, and then the second time I ended up, because of the tug of war situation with some things that was going on in my life, trying to better educate myself to be more independent financially, I had to relinquish my kids over to my ex-husband, which I did not want to do. And so that was really, really tough.
Yes.
And to walk away from a husband that I had been married to for so long, in a divorce, in a relationship, that was tough, but I made it.
Yes. And what would you tell other women who had been through divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have been through trying times in a relationship? What would you tell them to keep their sanity? What would you let them know?
Pray to their higher power. Keep the faith, believe, practice self-love, self-care, seek out a therapist or some kind of mental health coach or some kind of spiritual leader to provide that support that they may be needing.
Yes. Absolutely. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Don't wait. Get help. Get help. If you need the help, you gotta get help.
And it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to need help. It's okay to say I don't understand this. It's okay to say that I don't have a support system. I don't have a family. I don't have friends that's supportive of me. I don't have friends that support me divorcing a toxic relationship. It's okay to say that, and it's okay to go where you're supported and you're loved.
Yes, absolutely. And before we wrap up, right? I just want to know, what advice do you have for young ladies right now in this time right now that's growing with, and we growing up in a. What advice do you have for young ladies that's growing up in this treacherous time right now? Because we're living in some trying times. What's all the things that they need to do to be successful, to keep their head on straight? Also, the importance of them knowing that put themselves first, self-love, and then they can love everybody else. What is the importance of just showing these women that is more to life?
You know what? I struggle with that now, believe it or not, because I've dated certain guys of a certain financial status.
Yes.
And certain people could not understand how I can just walk away from this particular person because he is financially well off. And now some environments that I have to be in order to make my life be okay financially, and you going away from that to this, and it's just like, I don't look down on anyone because of their financial status. It's just that I know what I want in a relationship, and you can become anything that you want to become if you put in the work to become that. And disagreements are okay, but disrespect isn't okay. I think that loving yourself as a woman is very, very important, because when you love yourself, you don't tolerate a lot of things. And it was at one point in my life I did not love myself. There was some things that I did that I'm not proud of, but I'm not hurt anymore. I did a transition from a whole lot, and I'm kind of like proud of myself. It's okay to have standards when you're dating certain people. It's okay to say, well, I don't want to date a guy unless he's already a millionaire. It's okay, but just know that you need he may be a millionaire, but some people don't have boundaries. You need to set boundaries. It's okay to say, I don't want to date him unless he's already a millionaire or billionaire. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, be very, very clear and intentional with your dating. Be like, well, hey, I only date people of a certain financial status, but I'm not ready to get married yet, and I'm not ready to have kids yet. Make sure he's okay with that, and don't be misleading, stating that, having him feeling as though you want to get married soon or one day when you know you don't want to marry him.
Yes.
This is just somebody I'm having a good time with, and I enjoy spending time with him. Just make sure he understands that, from the beginning, and make sure everybody's on the same page as far as what they want in our relationship, and make sure they understand what they want in our relationship, and if it's okay with both parties, then it's okay. The problem come in at is when you're trying to pretend like you want to be married and you don't want to be married. You just want somebody to spend time with from time to time.
Yes,
That's the problem come in at.
absolutely.
And you two adults, if you're not adult enough to say, I date more than one person, and when we're together, then you don't need to be dating on 2 and 3 different people because someone can get hurt really, really bad.
Yes, yes. So honesty is key. So that's basically what he's saying. Honesty is key. Um, Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listen, y'all, listen. Did you what y'all hearing the jewels that she was spilling in this interview? She was spilling some heavy jewels. So where can the people find you at?
You can find me on Tara Patrick Taylor Inc. on Instagram. I accept clients by appointment only. My phone number is 267-219-8654. And I accept private pay clients, and for insurance clients, I have to accept the client through another agency. But if you contact me over the phone, I will be able to schedule an interview.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, don't wait. Mental health issues. Listen, contact Miss Tara Patrick Taylor. So listen, thank y'all again, y'all, for tapping in for this beautiful, beautiful, wonderful one interview. It was amazing. Each and every week, tap in. We will have a special guest each and every week. It could be your favorite poet. It could be your favorite mental health advocate. It could be your favorite artist. It could be the lady down the street with the water ice stand, or it could be you. So peace and love, y'all. One.
It only made me better. Ain't no second guessing the presence of a real legend. Invested in the people, so I highly stress it. Stress it. Pay attention, train your mind. During these times, we need more education, not incarceration. To elevate from negativity at all costs. Knowledge and power.